uh, I was looking at my views and I noticed that one video I made having something to do with Russia or something, it got a whole bunch of views. I know that's because it seemed I'm supposed to be shadow banned, but they maybe let that one get some views. They want people to talk about Russia. I don't want to talk about that was just one video. If I made 3 or 4 videos a day, that was the one I didn't want anybody to look at, you know. But I make videos about shit that is actually interesting, and it may not make sense because right away because I have a very wide peripheral, and I see things that are correlated, and I want to talk about that. And so it's a little bit of like, man, what is this talking about? Come on, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten to my points in many instances. My points are already made, and now I'm just reacting. But I don't make videos about stuff that people likes, because every time that I get distracted and like every time I get into a conversation with somebody, it's gonna go into that area that the government likes everything to be in. Like, you know what I'm saying, dichotomous. Like, okay, we might be your points and everything and your facts and everything. There's insight in the dichotomy, but there's also what's outside of the dichotomy, and that's where I like to be. Because, like, I don't need any views on my videos. I just want all my videos to be about some fucking interesting shit. And if people doesn't like it, then I've heard some stuff about society being fucked up. So I can already believe that. Shit. There's nobody I can really say is wrong because they just let my shit be unshadow banned. Otherwise, I would have got views on all the other shit too. So I almost wanted to come out and say, like, you're paying attention to the wrong videos. But it's not you, it's the Confucius social media application, Confucius Society in the social media application. It is a algorithm. It is the language that robots talks to each other. It is not the language of a walking man, right? A walking, talking, you know, your little daughter or my granny or whatever, or, you know what I mean, your uncle or whatever kinfolks or anything, right? You don't have to argue that they're not a fucking bot. You don't have to argue that they're not bots. Now, I might, at this point in time, I might even be a fucking agent. At this point, I don't even, how can I know? It's the things that don't resonate with me the most, like the things that I do that I feel are I could take it back. Like those are usually the things that I could say I was controlled. If I go back and look at it, those are my actions, but that wasn't me. Like, that wasn't really me. Those were my actions, but I was controlled then. And then that's when you learn about what applies to the tactics and the Confucius societies and shit, because they won't tell you to stop hating whoever you already hate. It's just going to be one more enemy that's just going to be like behind a veil of technology. You won't see them. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't feel like no big deal. If I got corporate gang stock, that shit is common as fuck. It's just that people don't have a way to eloquate when it happens. It can happen. It's just a way to try to finesse and intrigue people back into their personal space. Maybe you have some land or some estate or something too. You know what I mean? And so, like, not the Confucius Society is not what's doing it. That's what's been installed on us. Like, we can't blame a Confucius Society because we've inherited a mind. And that's a great and terrible thing. You know, whatever outcome, whatever your destiny is, it was great and terrible when you inherited a mind to fulfill, and it is to fulfill your destiny, but it's still great and terrible. Even if it's good, even if I'm rocking with you and I'm on your side on something, it's still great and terrible at the same time. But it's not really an argument for how things go. It's saying that works will be finished. Your works will be finished, if not by you, by somebody else, and that is great and terrible. And it's just wisdom that can be used for good or evil. You can't keep it out of anybody's hands. You shouldn't try to. And it's only a problem until somebody says that because it can be for good or evil, that we're going to make sure that it only ever is used for good. Now you got a fucking problem. Now you got a problem. Me too. It's just that when the things manifest, they take energy from our lives anymore, so that they can wash their hands of karma. They can wash their hands of the karma, or at least that's what they believe. Okay, we don't want to make them right. We don't want them to be right because of something we do with our energy. That's the craft. Stay away from the craft in that instance. You know what I mean? Some instances, maybe you're supposed to take the left-hand path, but that fucking, if you want to call it that, the left-hand path, then you could say it's to the curb. You know what I mean? But I happen to know that even if the left-hand path is to the curb, you know what I mean? All like a lot of some of the people that we admire or something we look up to are wizards or some shit. Like they're magician, and they took the left hand path. Okay, like maybe somebody who represents our people who gets a late night show, like a David Letterman show type of thing. Forget that dude's name. Yeah. Weird.